Hey everyone, welcome to Paint the Kitchen Red. I'm Nina, and today I'm going to be telling you all about the Instant Pot Pro, which is one of the newer models of Instant Pot. My previous favorite Instant Pot was the Duo Evo Plus, and I really like that model for a lot of reasons, and I was really disappointed to find out that it was being discontinued. But the Pro is even better than the Duo Evo Plus. It has all the best features of the Evo, and it also has a few more. So I really like it. If you have a new one that's still in the box, I urge you to take it out of the box. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a water test. The water test is where you pressure cook something super simple that you can't mess up, which is water. And that allows you to familiarize yourself with the Instant Pot. And also, if there is something wrong with your model, which can happen, you can either return it or you can contact the company within the warranty period. So if you haven't taken it out of the box, go ahead and do that. I'm going to meet you back here and we're going to get started. The Instant Pot Pro comes with a guide that you can use to get instructions on how to use the Pro. There's an extra sealing ring which you can keep on hand or you can use it for desserts. Here's a trivet that is used to elevate food. And finally, we have the condensation collector, which I'll show you how to put on in just a little bit. And this is the base unit, also known as the outer pot. And this is where the inner pot is going to be placed. It has a cord that's attached. This is the inner pot with the two silicone handles. And you have these markings on the inside which tell you the quarts, liters, and cups. And you also have the max fill line and the half fill line, and you'll need to observe these based on what you're cooking. Your recipe should tell you. So here we have the lid and a steam release assembly, which is made out of the steam release cover, which kind of diffuses the steam that comes out of the Instant Pot. You have a steam release valve, which can also be removed and cleaned periodically. And finally, we have the steam release pipe, which is where the steam comes out of. This is the steam release switch, which goes from seal to vent. And you'll notice when it's in the vent position, the latch goes up, and when it's in the seal position, that latch goes back down. And that's what allows you to do a quick release of pressure. Here we have the float valve, which I can access from the inside, and it can go up and down. It'll be in the up position when the Instant Pot is sealed, and it'll be in the down position once the pressure has been released. This is the handle. Now I'm going to turn the lid around. You can remove this cover to reveal a little slot where you would put a quick cool tray, which is a separate accessory that you can buy from the Instant Pot company. You fill the quick cool tray with water and stick it in the freezer, and then you place it in this metal area, and it allows the Instant Pot to cool down much faster, and then so your pressure release, it takes less time. It's really useful when you need to do a natural pressure release, but you're running out of time. I'll put a link to it in the notes. And so you put the cover back in by pushing the lid in and the latch, and let's replace the steam release valve and the steam release cover. Now I'm going to turn the lid over, and here you see the sealing ring rack, which is where the sealing ring goes in. And this is the anti-block shield and the float valve. The float valve can be removed by removing the silicone cap, and you can just put it right back on. You can take the float valve out and you can wash it. Sometimes you might need to do that. And then you put it right back into the hole and put the cap back on. The anti-block shield is a little bit difficult to remove with your bare hands, so I like to use a silicone trivet. Now you can try it from the front. I've been having a hard time with this particular model of Instant Pot doing it from the front, but from the back it comes out really easily. So you just push it inward and upward and it comes right off. You can wash it, and then once it's clean, you just push it right back in. It's really easy to put back in. The final thing I want to show you is putting the sealing ring in. You just kind of put it over the sealing ring rack and push down and make sure it goes into the rack all the way around. When you first get your Instant Pot, you may find that the sealing ring is really hard to push in, but just keep at it. Once you start cooking with it, it kind of stretches out and it's much easier to take out and put back in. But just make sure it's pushed in all the way around, because if you don't do that, you can have sealing issues with your Instant Pot, and you want to try and avoid that. To remove the sealing ring, you kind of grab it and pull up, and once you get a little bit of it up, it's easy to pull on the rest of the sealing ring and remove the sealing ring. Just be careful you don't tear it, don't use too much force, but it's pretty sturdy. And then once you take it out, you can wash it by hand or you can wash it in the dishwasher. I wash it in the top rack of my dishwasher every time I use the Instant Pot. The condensation collector goes onto the back of the base unit and it slides into these notches on the back. Let me show it to you from a side view as well. For the most part, the condensation collector is going to be clean, but every so often I find that there's liquid accumulated in there, and it's usually when I cook messy foods like pasta. So just check it to make sure there's nothing in there, because you could end up with a science experiment if you don't check it every so often. I wanted to show you how to prop the lid open. The lid has these two parts that stick out called the lid fin, and each lid fin has a slot that you can put it into to prop the lid open. This is really useful when you're done with pressure cooking and you need to have your hands free. You can just prop the lid open in the lid fin slots. Okay, now let's do the water test. Here we have the base unit. I'm going to stick the inner pot into the base unit, make sure it sits properly, and I'm going to plug the Instant Pot into a wall outlet and add about 2 cups of water. Now the Instant Pot manual tells you to use 3 cups of water, but I find that 2 cups of water works just fine. You can use 2 or 3. With 2, it just takes a little less time to come to pressure, and so anything to save time. To close the lid, you want the arrow on the lid, which is like a triangle, to line up with the notch on the base unit. And you put the lid on in such a way that the two line up, and you'll feel it seat, and you can turn it clockwise, and you'll hear a chime, and the arrow on the lid will line up with the notch in the middle of the display panel. The steam release switch should be in the seal position. It should automatically be in that position, but just double check it. Now we're going to program the Instant Pot for the water test. I'm going to give you very simple directions, and then later on I'll go over the display panel and all the features that it has. Press the pressure cook button and you'll notice that the custom option will be blinking. Press the knob to select custom, and you'll notice that the high pressure option is blinking. We're going to press the knob and select high pressure, and you'll see the time blinking. Turn the knob to change the time to 5 minutes. Press the knob to confirm. Now just press start to start the pressure cooking. And eventually you'll see that the progress bar on the bottom of the display panel will say preheating, and it'll be at the 3rd bar, which means it's almost done preheating. You'll notice that there'll be some steam coming out of the top from the float valve, and you may even hear some sounds. There's nothing to worry about. And the float valve will soon come up to the up position. The display panel will continue to say on, and it won't start counting down right away. So don't worry about it, just sit tight, and at some point the on will change to 5 and it'll start counting down to 0. I've sped up this video and you'll see that it's counting down from 5 minutes down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it'll get to 0 and it'll beep saying the pressure cooking is done. At this point, it's going to go into keep warm mode, and you can see that in the progress bar, and it'll count up from 0 until you shut the Instant Pot off by pressing cancel. So let's go ahead and press cancel. Let's do a quick release by moving the switch to the vent position. You'll see the steam coming out of the steam release cover. It's a diffused steam, so unlike some other models of the Instant Pot, it's a little less scary. So that's one of the things I really like about this Instant Pot is the steam release. So once all the steam has been released, the float valve will drop into the down position, and now it's safe to open the Instant Pot lid. So using the handle, I'm going to turn the lid counterclockwise, and you might feel a little pulling because of the suction from the steam. Just be careful and watch out for the steam because it's going to be very hot. Put the lid fin into the slot of the base unit, and that'll prop the lid open. And that's it for the water test. So at this point you have enough information to get going, but if you wanted to learn more about the buttons and all the functions with the Instant Pot Pro, I'm going to go over them briefly in the next few minutes. When we did the water test, we went over the pressure cook button. There are a couple of other options that I wanted to show you. The pressure cook function has the custom, which we used for the water test, but there are some other options that are basically like presets on your microwave. So they have a set pressure level, whether low or high, and a set time that you would pressure cook at. You can toggle through the different presets. In this case, I'm going to pick chicken and press the button to select chicken. You'll see the pressure level is set to high. You can change it from high to low. I'm going to keep it at high. Press the button to select high, and then you'll see that the time is blinking. You can turn the knob to change the time. I'm going to change it to 6 minutes. Press the knob to confirm, and then I'm going to press start to start the pressure cooking. The display changes to on, and now I'm going to press cancel. And if we go back to pressure cook again, and turn the knob back to chicken, you'll see that the last thing I did has been saved. So this is a great way to customize the presets. If you wanted to reset a button to factory settings, you just press and hold it, and it'll beep and you'll see it light up, and that means that it's been reset to the factory settings. So if I were to go back to pressure cook and go back to chicken, you'll see that it's been reset to 10 minutes, which is the original factory setting for chicken. You can do this for any of the buttons, just press and hold, and it'll reset back to factory settings. Now let's go over some of the other buttons. We have rice and grain, which has a custom function and presets for white rice and brown rice. And these settings are changed the same way you do the pressure cook button. The steam button is very similar to pressure cook. The only difference between steam and pressure cook is the steam button heats up the Instant Pot a little bit faster. The saute function has to be used with the lid off. It allows you to saute foods before or after pressure cooking. So you can change the temperature level from low to high to custom. The custom option has 5 levels, 5 bars, and you can set it from level 1 all the way up to level 5. Level 1 is the first bar, and you just turn the knob to increase the temperature all the way up to 5, which is the same as high. So I'm going to turn it down to 3 bars, which is medium, and press the knob to confirm the temperature, and the time will be blinking. You can change the saute time. I'm going to change it to 20 minutes. And then all you have to do is press start. Next we have the slow cook function. Slow cook allows you to set the temperature. You can set it to low or high. And then once you select that, you can change the slow cooking time to whatever number of hours you want to slow cook for. And then just press start. Next we have the sous vide setting. Sous vide is a technique that allows you to cook meat in particular really tender, and I have a video on that. You can set the temperature and the cooking time for sous vide. Yogurt turns out really well in the Instant Pot. I have a couple of recipes on my blog that you can check out. You have two options when you select the yogurt button. One is low, which is the fermentation, and the other is high, which is the boiling of the milk. So what you'll do is boil the milk on high and then let it cool down and add your starter, and then you'll ferment the yogurt on low. I like to use 9 hours for my fermentation. The default is 8 hours. Check out my recipe for no boil yogurt. It's so easy to make. The bake function allows you to pressure cook cakes and bread in the Instant Pot. I'm not a big fan of baking or pressure cooking cakes other than cheesecakes and puddings. Those come out really well in the Instant Pot. The Delay Start button can be used with many of the pressure cooking functions, and basically it allows you to program the Instant Pot to begin pressure cooking at a future time. So what you do is you program the Instant Pot as you normally would. So I'm going to press pressure cook and I'll select custom, high pressure, and 10 minutes, and then press the Delay Start button and you'll see a time pop up. You can change it in 10-minute increments. I'll select 5 hours and press start. So the Instant Pot will begin pressure cooking 5 hours from now for 10 minutes on high pressure. The Keep Warm button can be turned on at any point when you're programming the Instant Pot by pressing the Keep Warm button, and this allows the food to stay warm after pressure cooking is done. You can also turn it on and off after pressure cooking has begun. You'll see that there's a light that shows you if the Keep Warm function is on or not. You may have noticed the reminder option when you were programming the Instant Pot for the water test. The reminder is something that's really useful when your recipe calls for a 5 or 10 minute natural release of pressure. You should check out my video on all the different types of pressure release, including natural release, quick release, and natural release for 5 and 10 minutes. And basically what the reminder does is after pressure cooking is complete, it will beep after 5 or 10 minutes, whichever one you choose, and that reminds you to release the pressure at that time. To turn on the reminder for a program, you select the program, in this case pressure cook, custom. I'm going to select high pressure and I'm going to select 10 minutes. And you'll see that the reminder option is blinking. Right now it's blinking on off. If you turn the knob, you can get to 5 minutes, and turn it one more time and you can get to 10 minutes. And once you make your selection, you press the knob and just press start. And that's all you need to do. When pressure cooking is complete, the Instant Pot will beep after 10 minutes. The favorite button is a new feature of the Instant Pot that's available on the Pro. And what you would do is you would program your Instant Pot. In this case, I'm going to do custom, high, and I'm going to set the cook time to 5 minutes. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to set the reminder to be 5 minutes. And now if I press Fave 1 and hold it, this program will get saved to that button. Now if I press cancel and I press Fave 1 again, you'll see that the setting was saved. And this is a great one-touch way to cook your favorite foods. If you wanted to change the temperature unit from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you press and hold the knob until you see the unit blinking. And then you can turn the knob from F to C and choose the one that you want. And then you have the option to turn sound on or off. If you don't like the beeps, you can turn the sound off and just press start to confirm your selection. Well, I hope I've given you enough information to get started with your new Instant Pot Pro. Be sure to check out some of my other videos, including one on sous vide, and also I have one on the difference between natural and quick release and some other modes of pressure release that you may run across in your recipes. I also have a video on the reasons why your Instant Pot may not be sealing and many others. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.